to Hear Me Out, episode 13. I am one of your hosts, Fabs. I'm joined by my brother,
Randy.
and I see you got a little new setup over here.
Yeah. So I had to get a new mic for my podcast because I did like a whole new setup on like I said, on my podcast, and this is just easier to carry around than that, and I'd rather break or lose this than break that.
I know.
So yeah, but I mean, I'm sure it works the same. I
We'll
did my
see
first
how you
episode
sound
with
too.
it, and
You
it
look
sounded
like
fine.
you got
So
a lot of space over there, though.
yeah, I do. I got so much space to sip my coffee.
By the way, that was one of my friend's comments from the previous episodes she was watching. She was like, "You guys are so cute. You sip your drinks together."
That's funny. I haven't even noticed that, to tell you the truth.
So, yeah, we always each one of us has a drink.
Yeah.
Maybe soon we should start to make him alcoholic. We'll have a hell of a time on this.
Oh my god, imagine. Well, you did have remember when you had the Baileys or whatever?
Yeah. It got really hot in here quick. I was like
hot.
opening windows.
I'm hot right now, but I mean, I'm just sick, so you'll have to forgive me if I look or sound rough today.
He said, or if he blows his nose.
Yeah, or if I blow my nose, I already used one of them, so but I'm already sweating, and we just started.
Yeah, and he got me drinking freaking lemon tea because I was like, if you get me sick, I swear to God. But anyways, here we are, on a little bit of a lighter mood than last week. I mean, mind you, I'm still sad. Everywhere I'm like, no, Kobe. Yesterday I was like, shouldn't the Super Bowl be canceled? Because I mean, like, Kobe just died.
Yeah.
And it's not right. So I guess to visit that a little bit since we went there, I don't know that any new updates have been given as far as like what happened. I haven't really heard anything, and like I said, if we have, they're probably, I mean, they could not be true. So
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna say anything until I do get something like more official. But I know Vanessa Bryant has been more.
Yeah, she's put out like some
has been like
statements,
coming
and
out a
she's
little
been-
bit more,
yeah,
which
yeah.
I can't even imagine. I told you
Yeah.
after like her first large post like a few days ago. Yeah.
Original one.
That I was like, I feel like somebody's writing this for her, which is fine. I'm not criticizing that. Like the fact that she even made a comment so soon.
Oh, I know.
I just know that I would be like, I want nothing to do with my phone.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with social media. However, I understand too that look at all the love that Kobe has gotten around the world.
Yep.
I feel like, and again, she doesn't have to. She doesn't owe the public anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like if she didn't say anything, or let me just focus on what she did. The fact that she did say something is like she appreciates everything that has been done, everything that has been said. I did read that she requested, like basically, I think it was the things that people have been signing outside of Staples Center. Like they put out 2 big white posters to people to sign. And some people have also been dropping off gifts, so I read that she like wants to claim those things.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, I bet.
But again, I'm still heartbroken. I'm still so sad. You still a week later, you can't get away from it.
No, not at all.
Kobe documentaries. There's the one that ESPN is now airing is like Kobe doing work, which I haven't watched it yet. I recorded it, but they said it's Spike Lee I don't know if it's like during a visit to Madison Square Garden or if it's at Staples or where else it is, but it says Spike Lee just like has a camera follow him around and watch him work.
That's crazy.
So I don't know that I had heard about it before, so I wonder like when this was.
Yeah, when it was like done or whatever.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to watching it though. I'm probably gonna watch it tonight. But I mean that's all I'm gonna say on Kobe because
Yeah, I hear you.
then I'm gonna be like, let's just shut this down right
no,
now.
gonna,
I don't want to record
I
nothing.
don't want to do this anymore. But so I guess so that you don't get all sad, we'll move on to like the more prevalent topic of obviously the world today, which is the Super Bowl.
That's the one thing you can't get away from today, right?
Yeah. Obviously, well, for us right now, it was played yesterday because we were recording on Monday. But yeah, what are your initial thoughts on just like the game and how everything played out?
Well, just to, like as far as like my desires too, you know that I had wanted like a shootout.
Yeah.
I had wanted like a 40-something to 30-something or 30-something to 30-something, whatever. Well, the Kansas City got into the 30s, but it
Yeah.
wasn't until the end. Overall, it was pretty close. I did expect to see more scoring. But in just briefly, I really think that the 49ers just kind of blew that. It was like they had, I don't want to say they had it in the bag, because with Mahomes, you never have nothing in any kind of bag.
Yeah.
But it was their game to lose. It was San Fran's game to lose, and they definitely just blew that.
Yeah, I think that Kyle Shanahan just kind of, he got flashbacks of what happened when he was on the Falcons, and I feel like he got nervous because of that, and almost was like, all right, I have to he ditched the running game. He ditched the running game towards the end, and he had Jimmy just throwing the ball, which hadn't been working so well for him. So, I mean, Jimmy was having a decent game.
Yeah, he was having a pretty good game. I have to.
Yeah, but then he couldn't make the important throws, which is, I think, where obviously quarterbacks are separated from the rest of the pack.
There was that throw to. Actually, I don't even know who the throw was to. Was it Emmanuel Sanders? When Sanders, he even split the double team. He was running.
Yeah,
and
the
he
long
was,
ball.
Yeah, and he was alone.
Yeah, that
and
was
he just
the Sanders.
overthrew him. And like you said, that's kind of what makes a difference between
winning the Super Bowl and losing the Super Bowl.
Yes, but also the kind of quarterback that you have.
Yeah,
and I don't have I'm not hating on Mahomes, and you know that. I don't have much of an attachment or a reason to like Mahomes.
Yeah.
But I have learned in my couple years of watching Mahomes that you don't really count that kid out. You can't count that kid out.
Never.
Even when they were down, we talk about this a lot, when they were down 24-0, and I saw Deshaun Watson on the sideline happy, and he's doing a dance. I was like, don't do that. Yeah, it's the first quarter, and you're playing fucking Patrick Mahomes. Don't do that.
No, not at all.
And of course they lost.
Yep.
Every win in this playoff was a comeback.
Yep, by double digits too.
That's saying a lot.
Obviously, the big topic too is Andy Reid finally getting his
porn star Andy.
Yeah, his ever-long, elusive Super Bowl win that he couldn't get, and it comes on his 222nd win.
Yep.
On 2/2/2020.
Yep.
So, like you said last night, it seems like the number 2 seems to be his lucky number.
Yep. I'd be playing that number.
Oh yeah,
going by that scratch ticket, number 2, or give me 2 of them.
I'd be like, give me two 2s, and give me a 22 if they have 22 up there.
And 2 20s.
Yeah, and 2 20s.
Well, I saw a classic. Andy Reid, and the caption was like, "How could you not love this man?" And it was true, because he said, "No, I did not spend the night with my trophy. I spent it with my trophy wife."
And last night he was talking about the cheeseburger. He was like, I'm gonna get a big cheese. I'm gonna get the biggest cheeseburger you ever seen. It might even be a double. I mean,
no, he's pretty funny. I like him as a coach, and I liked that he didn't really coach with fear, fourth. And I remember there's one specific play that I remember where it was 4th and 1, and he just went for it.
He went for 2 4th and 1s.
Well, that's
in
what
the
I was
first
gonna say.
quarter.
I don't know if it happened again. I wasn't really paying that close attention in that aspect, but that's another thing. That's the difference between you winning a Super Bowl and not. If you're fearless, you got to go for things that make sense. 4th and 1. The first play, the opening play of the Super Bowl, or it wasn't opening play because it was Kansas City that started out with the ball, right? But the opening or first scoring drive, I should say, and then San Fran just scored a field goal. Mm-hmm. They were 4th and 1, our first possession, we're going, or second possession, whatever, we're going for it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they got first down, and that led to the first Mahomes touchdown.
Yep. And I think that really the unsung hero of that Super Bowl was Damian Williams. Because he did have the controversial, I'll say, receiving touchdown.
Yeah.
Where, by the replay, it shows when his foot is out of bounds, the ball just breaks the plane.
Yeah, by
yeah,
a quarter of an inch.
And that's all they need.
I get it, right? That's all they need. So there is no.
Yeah, so I didn't see much controversy behind it. I was like, you see the foot out of bounds, you see the nose on the ball past the goal line. It's a touchdown.
There's no other evidence to overturn it. You just can't say, well, maybe no. There just isn't. You got to stay with the call. You got to go with what the original call was. So.
Yeah, but so like I said, Damian Williams really seemed to be the unsung hero. Like I said, the receiving touchdown. And he also got the dagger rushing touchdown.
He didn't even have to do that.
No, he didn't have to. But at the same time, it's like there was a minute something left.
Yeah, but that just made it official.
Yeah, there was like a minute left, and he just, he was like, you know what, I gotta get mine. Maybe this will get me MVP, and he rushed it in, which I think he could have been up there for MVP if he had gotten on Pat Mahomes' first touchdown. It came after Damian Williams got that direct snap and got taken down at like the half-yard line. I think if he punches it in there, he would have been MVP.
Oh yeah, he would have had
because he would have had three touchdowns,
right?
100-something rushing yards.
But honestly, though, I do think that it was Mahomes' MVP trophy to win because they were down 10.
Yeah.
7 minutes left. That big pass to Tyreek Hill, and then you're like, oh well, here they come.
Yeah, as soon as that pass
he throws it to Kelce, and now suddenly they're just down 3. And it's like you have to give props to this kid. He's the one that just did that. And keep in mind too, sometimes we forget like his age. I know that you're not 24 yet, but I'm like, just think of the mentality of like a 24-year-old. He's the center of the Super Bowl, like center stage. You're the quarterback for the team that's now losing. Yep. And for him to keep his composure, be able to come
against
through
the second
big.
best defense.
Yeah, there was
defense, I forget.
The best defense, right? And I did watch First Take this morning. I think it was Dan Orlovsky. That was saying that he had heard that Patrick Mahomes went up to Tyreek Hill and was like, dude, I need you. And he was like, man, like, we're down 10 with 7 minutes left. You know what I mean? Like, they're kind of losing it. Like, we're down 10. Like,
yeah.
And he was like, I need you to focus and I need you to, like, be that dude for me.
Yeah.
And they were like, sure enough, give him a couple minutes. He was locked in. And suddenly they're down 3.
Yeah, I mean,
suddenly they're up 4. And
the 49ers had done a great job at keeping Tyreek Hill quiet. And that's
what I was going to say. What happened in the fourth quarter? For 3 quarters, this kid is quiet. You shut him down.
Well, I mean, at the same time, you got to consider a player like that who is just that athletic. You can only do so much against him. Technique's only going to get you so far. You're going to get tired, and what's he going to do when you get tired? He's going to be like, Pat, I'm just going to go long.
Sprinting, right.
And, yeah, no, I mean, I think that pass to Tyreek was really the turning point for the game because right after that, like you said, they got the pass interference in the end zone when they tried to throw to Kelce. Then they got the touchdown to Kelce.
Yep.
Then they got the 49ers
Now they're just down 3, right.
And as soon as they got that first touchdown to Kelce, I was like, oh. And
it's too much time on the clock. You give Patrick Mahomes 7 minutes, he thinks he has a whole freaking 2 quarters.
Yeah.
He has a whole half to play.
Yeah. They scored 21 in like 6.5, like 5 minutes, whatever it was. Because the first score, I think, came with 6:35 left. Then the last score came with like a minute left.
Yep.
Something like that. So it was, that was crazy.
I have no idea, I mean, I'm happy to have had either team in there because, like I said, it's something different than the Pats. It was a Super Bowl everybody wanted to see. It was a great offense against a great defense, not undermining anything else that San Fran provides, but just like the main highlights. And I mean, I guess the first half, I don't want to say it didn't disappoint. The first half, I was kind of bored because I was like, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think
10 to 10?
I think that both teams were still getting like their jitters out because there wasn't many people on there with experience. You got obviously Richard Sherman, who had experience. Terrell Suggs on the Chiefs, who had experience, who actually was claimed on waivers in like the middle of the season, right after he had said like, if it's not the Ravens, I'm not going to play for this team. And then of course the Chiefs claim him, and he's like, all right, maybe I'll show up because it's the Chiefs.
Maybe I'll win.
And now look at him, he's going to have another nice run.
Right. Be like, well, thank God I did.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it was a good Super Bowl. I enjoyed the game. I think that Pat Mahomes was definitely worthy of MVP.
For sure.
I don't know if you watched Travis Kelce's post-game interview with like Boomer and Randy Moss and all that.
I didn't.
He's just a funny guy. I don't know if you saw in the AFC Championship. He was like, Kansas City, like we fight for the right
to party.
And he did the same thing. Except he said we fight for the right for the Lombardi. I was like, oh jeez.
Well, one thing I know about Travis Kelce is he is too handsome. That's about it. I did not watch that post-game interview, no.
I think that Gronk retiring really gave him a spotlight too.
Well,
because I feel like he had been in the shadows of Gronk. Because obviously Travis Kelce is a top 2 tight end right now.
Right. Him and Kittle. Right.
Yeah, him and Kittle are the 2 best tight ends, and I feel like they were both kind of like overshadowed by Gronk. Because personally, I had never seen a tight end like Gronk. Mm-hmm. Just like you need 3 or 4 guys to try to get him down.
Just his height, his size, his
stride. He just puts both hands on the ball.
Yeah,
and
there's just
like goes.
Imagine a man like Gronk coming at you. I'd be like, let me get out of the way. Yeah. I'll just get out of the way for you.
Your best way to take him down is by taking his knees, and then you get called a dirty player. But no, you're just doing what you have to do.
I mean, and then he also played for the dynasty of the Patriots. It's like it doesn't really get. It's a great player on a great team. You can't really not give him the spotlight.
Yeah. And did you see the picture of him, Belichick, Moss, Vinatieri, and Brady?
Yes. Did anybody else see my boy Belichick flexing? He was like
the rings.
But I love how he just laughs. I'm like, oh, Belichick.
Yeah, I love how he only brought 3 too.
Yeah, just 3. The big one on this hand.
Yeah, he was like, no,
2.
I'll bring. He's like, these are for this time. He's like, next time when I'm not here, I'll bring the next 3.
The other 3.
And then after that, all 6. Or maybe he'll have more by then. I don't know.
He's going to have his own security even walking the field with him, following his every move in the... I do want to say, right, this made me laugh. The halftime show, awesome. It was great. When I went, it takes me a little bit to, or I should say it took me a little bit to figure out the political message behind it, because I was just watching 2 of my favorite girls, like Shakira and J-Lo, performing, and I wasn't thinking about no political message. I was trying to watch them dance. I was like, they're about to bring the house down, and I said, Shakira can dance. I was like, Shakira's not the greatest singer, but she can dance. J-Lo's not the greatest singer either, but she's a great performer. Yeah. So I was like, my expectations are sky high. They exceeded everything. They brought out J Balvin.
And Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny, fucking looking like a dumbass. But
and I mean, you know, I don't listen to much Spanish music, but I do enjoy, every now and then, I do enjoy some Bad Bunny and J Balvin.
Yeah. And shout out to Bad Bunny. I told you he had that song called 6 Rings.
Oh, yeah.
In honor of Kobe. And I listened to it. Lyrically, it is everything is like a tribute to Kobe. Yeah. So just a side note. But yeah, so halftime show was great. So the political message behind it. Did you see the kids were supposed to be in cages? Like when Emmy,
oh no, I didn't see that.
J-Lo's daughter came out and she started to sing, and all the other kids were in the background, dancing, but then some were in the front. It was supposed to be cages. I was like, oh, that's great. Like, okay, where's J-Lo? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not paying attention.
In the moment, you're not thinking of it.
But then also, I did obviously put 2 and 2 together that she's saying born in the USA, and she's holding the Puerto Rican flag.
Yeah, the Puerto Rican flag was visible to the TV. Yep. On the back was the US.
On the back it was the US. But it was also because there's so much stuff going on right now saying that they should just make Puerto Rico a state. Yeah. But people are refusing, and it's like, they have Latinos. Oh no, God forbid. Yeah. But whatever. So the message was beautiful that she's saying born in the USA, rocking a Puerto Rican flag, bringing out all Latinos, but at the same time, it just unmasked so much racism. One of my friends shared like this page that people. I'm not even gonna read the comments because it's not even worth it to give these people attention. Yeah. But I just wanted to say, like, some people were really like, why the fuck are they speaking Spanish at the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, I bet.
I feel like I'm in Mexico. I feel like my TV, my cable box just automatically switched to Spanish, like, broadcasting. Yeah. And I was like, were you not paying attention to anything that just happened? You couldn't just enjoy the performance, the singing. If you're a man, I mean, as a woman, I enjoyed watching them shake their ass. Like, as a man or anybody, can't you just enjoy a good performance? Yeah, literally. It could have been fucking Arab people, like, performing, and I would have been like, if it's a great performance, I'm going to acknowledge a great performance. I'm not going to say, why are these people that don't even belong in this country? This country is a melting pot. And what I kept thinking about, I was like, they're in Miami. Do you know how many Latinos there are in Miami? Do you know
what the main population in Miami is?
They probably speak more Spanish in Miami than they speak English.
They should have brought Pitbull out. That would have been That would have been the icing on the cake
305.
for everybody.
I mean, that's all I'm going to say about that anyways, but I did just want to bring that up. And also, I did put this as my status last night. Anybody else saw that big-ass Guatemalan flag?
Yep.
It was behind, in the first half.
One of the goalposts.
Yeah, it was behind the goalpost, but it was where San Fran was in the first half. Or
in the third quarter, too.
Yeah, third quarter. I'm sorry, first and third, yes. And because when I told you, as soon as Kansas City kept scoring, you didn't see that flag no more. But, I mean, just some Guatemalan pride there. I was like, damn, this paisano got some money.
Right. Yeah.
How do you make it to the first row of the damn Super Bowl?
I was about to say, that was like a close seat.
But it was huge, too. He's just like, yeah.
It's all right, we'll be there.
San Francisco has nothing to do. He probably lives in San Fran or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be there one day, though.
Yeah, one day. With our Guatemalan flag.
Yeah. But anything else on the Super Bowl?
Nope. Now football is over.
Yep, football's over.
They've already started a countdown, like 7 months, 7 days, and X amount of minutes.
Now it's...
Which means it's 7 months and maybe 4 days until our draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so now we can focus. So now is kind of where we shift our gears a little bit. Like, we will obviously talk a lot more basketball. And I know that Kobe's untimely death, like, threw us off of track for a little bit because last week that was the episode that we did.
Yeah.
This week we're kind of just doing Super Bowl, mention the Celtics. But I know that we are supposed to discuss the Ron Artest documentary.
Yeah.
So we can do that next week when we do have more time and just kind of single out, like, just talk about NBA. And then, I mean, that is part of the NBA anyway, so.
Yeah. And also just side note, since NFL is over and MLB is kind of around the corner. I know we don't watch, like, every baseball game and whatnot, but I know that the Red Sox are close to trading Mookie Betts away to the Dodgers.
I have read about that, yes. Like, conversations was heating up. Oh, wait, to the Dodgers?
To the Dodgers. And I guess that a deal could get done today or tomorrow. So either Monday or Tuesday. I heard that, like, they could be, like, officially trading him away. And I don't think that it's going to be for much. And I guess that they're trying to include David Price in it, too, to send him away.
Wow.
Just because he's owed, like, $30-something million over the next 3 years. Like, each year.
I mean, even though he did kind of get his shit together for the Sox, he's been okay.
Yeah, he's been doing well. I know he was
hurt.
The
$30 million is a lot.
little bit, yeah. He was hurt last year for a good amount of the season, but...
and I know for the Sox, too, the spring training will like, the bus is headed down to...
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I think they said that today.
And they still got to find a new manager.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
By the way, there's a... I think I talk about Jimmy Kimmel a lot, but I should get some credit for his... So there was a Jimmy Kimmel interviewing... Was it Jimmy Kimmel? I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. I could be wrong on which Jimmy it was.
Yeah.
But it was interviewing Magic.
Okay.
And it's funny. I won't give too much away, but they do on the low throw some shade because he's part owner of the Dodgers too. So they do throw some shade at the
Astros.
The Astros.
The Red
and
Sox,
not really the Sox, but like kind of.
Yeah.
They're cheating, so just putting it out. It's like a 10-minute interview if anybody's interested. But it's always, I mean, I feel like it's always fun watching Magic be interviewed. And it was obviously done a couple days after the Kobe thing, so it was more like a Kobe interview and their relationship. And then, but yeah, the shade throwing was pretty funny about the cheating.
But, you know, so I guess we'll talk about the Celtics a little bit since we didn't really cover them last week for obvious reasons. But you know, so we had that bounce back. Well, no, I don't even want to say bounce back.
I think the C's are back. I think they're playing like...
Yeah, I don't even want to say bounce back win because we're on 3 in a row right now. But the most recent of those, or at least at the time we're recording, was against Philly.
Mm-hmm. Yay, we beat them once!
Yeah. Which, listen, I'm not worried about Philly.
No, neither am I. It was just I was more annoyed than anything that they beat us 3 times because it's...
Jason Tatum did dunk on Horford, and he did put up 25 or 26 points that game. And my boy, in my opinion, one of the 2 biggest all-star snubs in the East, behind Bradley Beal, Jalen Brown put up 32 points and I think 9 rebounds, something like that.
I love the commentators that day. They were like, Jalen Brown in his bag. Going in his bag of tricks. He did have a great game. And I have a bone to pick with you because you kept saying that I don't like him. Oh, you keep hating on and talk crap. We can go back to the episode that we recorded that I said, if me talking crap gets him to do all this, I am going to keep going, but it's because I'm rooting for him.
All I know is that Jalen's on a revenge tour now. I know that he said he doesn't really care about that All-Star snub. I know that he said he's going to use it as motivation. So.
I did like that response. That was a very mature
everyone
response.
else was bitching about it. I'm sure you saw like other.
Shaq was standing up for him on
because he was
inside
one of,
the NBA.
Yeah, he was one of Shaq's.
Yeah,
he
was
put
his
out
pick.
the reserves, and Shaq out of all 4 of them was the only one that had Jalen Brown in there. Which I mean, I think seeing his growth and whatnot, I think you had to have given him strong consideration at least. I think he might have been.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I can't justify it. I really don't know why he was left out. Obviously, there's only so many spots. But like I said, like Bradley Beal, I'm so upset that as just an NBA fan, I kind of take offense to the fact that Bradley Beal was left out. What a slap in the face.
I know. Well,
he's
here's my thing.
averaging 27 points a game.
Who are the 2 guards that got put in on the reserves? Ben Simmons and Kyle Lowry. Ben Simmons hasn't been having that great of a year, right? Bradley Beal should have been there. Kyle Lowry,
I feel like he's had... Because I remember
he's right there.
Yeah.
But I do think that Jalen Brown has been playing a little bit better.
At the beginning of the season, I did kind of say, like, okay, look at Kyle Lowry after he won a championship. He's looking kind of different. Like,
yeah.
He's like tough. Like, he wants it. He's hungry. He's going after it. He's making shots. He's taking risks. So I don't necessarily know if I disagree, or I'm sorry, if I agree with you that like maybe Kyle Lowry, I would take out Ben Simmons before Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. I think I would have taken Ben Simmons out before Kyle Lowry, but I think that there could have also been a strong case for Jalen over Kyle Lowry too. Who else got in? I forget, but.
Well, I mean, and speaking of like people that got robbed, my other boy, because that was my first question. I was like, oh yeah, I was like Devin Booker, and then I was like, wait a second, Devin Booker is not in it either. So him and
Bradley
Beal are
the only 2 averaging 27 plus that didn't make it.
What are you doing, NBA?
I think that
I told you I don't really think Russell Westbrook is. Let me pull up the All-Stars because I can't remember everybody, but I don't think that Russell Westbrook is having an All-Star caliber year.
His last month, he really carried the Rockets because that was James Harden was having a really off month.
I understand that, but it's like, do you really reward? I don't know. And I'm not saying they did just base it on the last month, but I don't think that you should pick All-Stars based on that because then again, Bradley Beal's playing for a shitty team, but he's leading the way.
And I think that that has a lot to do with it because think about it. The 2 main, the 2 common denominators between Bradley Beal and Devin Booker are that they're on not great teams, the Suns and the Wizards.
But even Phoenix is not doing.
Yeah, they're not terrible
this year.
But they're not a playoff team right now. I don't think. Another guy I thought was snubbed is for me obviously, and I think for you as well, the front runner for Rookie of the Year, Moran.
For sure.
Obviously, he's not putting up like insanely high numbers as far as like points and whatnot. But to have put that much life back into the Grizzlies, like he's selling out.
The Grizzlies are almost 500. They're 24-25.
Yeah, he's selling out their stadium, the FedEx Forum, I think that they play at. He's selling it out for a sub 500 team and they still have hope for the playoffs.
Yep.
You know?
Are they the 8th seed? Did I just see that?
They're
the 8th seed.
There you go.
Yep, 24-25.
I mean, I don't think that they want to play the Lakers, but but hey, I mean, I think that you still have about half of the season left, so we'll see. Maybe they can pull something together. But I definitely think that John Morant should have been in there. And I don't know if you saw Pat Connaughton committed to the dunk contest.
Yeah, I thought that was so random.
Get Javonte in there. I need Javonte Green in the dunk contest because that kid is crazy athletic, and he can.
Have they invited him? I don't think so.
No, they haven't invited him. And I think they do 6 participants?
I think so too. I don't know how many they even have.
They have 4 right now.
I've been so out of it. I'm telling you. I feel like a family member passed. I'm not paying attention to
No,
nothing.
they have 4 right now. They have Pat Connaughton, Derek Jones Jr. from Miami, Aaron Gordon, and Dwight Howard.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think
right,
Zach
Dwight.
LaVine should hop in there just because it's against Aaron Gordon, and that was the best dunk contest.
Yeah, that was
I've
great.
seen.
That was great.
But I know you wanted to mention.
Yeah, I mean, not somebody that got robbed, but
He got
no,
robbed.
he got robbed from being a starter.
Yeah.
But he's a reserve. But Jimmy Buckets, there's no reason why he should be a reserve. You take that whole. Granted, there's a couple of rookies, Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn. There are a couple of rookies that are playing such a big part in that team and what they have done this year. But rookies aside.
And they have that kid Duncan Robinson too.
The one that can shoot threes. Yeah. Those rookies aside, who is the newcomer to the team?
Yeah, it's
Jimmy Butler. Look at their record. Look at how they're playing ball.
Yeah,
Look
they're
at their
fourth right now.
How do you not put this man as a starter?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that he got in. I'm glad that Bam Adebayo got in.
Bam is just
because I think that right now Bam is if not one of the front runners for most improved.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this season so far, I don't want to jinx it, but so far, Jimmy Butler has shut down all those rumors that he's the reason why there's bad team chemistry wherever he goes, because you can tell that they have fun.
Yeah, I think
with
you can
each
shut
other.
that down.
I mean, look at the Timberwolves once he left. Garbage. Philly has dropped to a 6th seed right now.
The Timberwolves are just one of those teams that every year I look at and I'm like, I really don't care what acquisitions you made, you're just going to suck.
Yeah.
You do.
And they shouldn't be
year.
bad. They have Andrew Wiggins, who's been balling out.
Karl Anthony Towns. What? Like, I just
Yeah.
don't understand. They suck every year. They suck every year.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And also, not to change subjects, but with the trade deadline coming up.
Yep.
And this was just on my mind. I was just thinking about Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
People are saying that if the Lakers make a push for Derrick Rose, that could be like the missing piece.
I could see that.
And I could see that too because
he's
D Rose
averaging
is on a roll right now.
Yeah, he's averaging like 20. He said he wants to stay in Detroit.
He did. But
he said that, but
also
obviously
said that's not in my control.
Yeah. So you never know. Also, obviously, we heard about Clint Capela, his name getting thrown around in trade rumors with a few teams in the East. I guess that includes the Atlanta Hawks, which I think would be a good move for them because Trae Young needs some help. Yeah, and Clint Capela is a really good young center as well.
By the way, I'm really happy for Trae. Just saying.
Oh yeah, he deserved.
He's a great player.
Yeah, he's great, and obviously he's putting up numbers similar to Luka this year. But the only reason he's not in the MVP discussion is because of his team.
Shitty team. Yep.
And I mean, hopefully they can make a move to get him some help. Obviously, it won't like help him out this season as much.
But you see this kid scoring like 40 in consecutive games with 35 plus or whatever, and the Atlanta Hawks lost. It's like, get the poor kid some help. Get him a shooter even, because he can score, but he can play. He can make plays for himself, but he's also a playmaker for his other teams.
Yeah.
Like, he's a true point guard in definition of, like, the other day he had like 19 assists or 18 assists, whatever the heck he had. He's going to make plays for his teammates, but he doesn't really have any teammates to make plays for right now.
Yeah, not at all. I know they did trade for Jeff Teague, but it's like...
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like,
what's Jeff
and
Teague
we're
gonna do for
kind
your
of
team
just
right now?
at the same, like, you're right back where you started.
All you did was get a backup for Trae Young. What, you're going to get him some rest?
Right, you're going to get the kid who's basically running your team. You're just going to rest
keeping your
him?
team in the game.
Yeah, even though you're losing, but he's keeping you close. It made no sense to me, and Jeff Teague is not in his prime.
No. I mean, he can still ball out, but I don't think like to the level that he was before.
Yeah, it's not like significant. I don't see him as like, oh, that's a good trade in the long run. It might be great for them.
Which, I mean, maybe they picked him up just to move him again, you know?
Yeah, like just a piece.
Yeah, you've seen teams do that before. They'll trade for somebody who they're just going to include in another trade package. So I guess we'll see. But other than that, I'm excited for All-Star Weekend. Obviously, I'm going to be watching that alone because you're going to be in the motherland.
Well, Mom said too that every year that she goes, she does watch it over there. So I was like, oh, good. I'll get some cable TV in Guatemala.
Yeah.
No, so I do obviously especially want to watch it because just this week, since again the passing of Kobe, God, that sounds so fucking terrible.
I know.
They announced all these rules that or these changes that were made to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Which kind of random.
Yeah,
but
random.
I could roll with it.
I think that
like,
they're
it's
doing
fine.
it just to kind of keep it interesting because
yeah, and I think
obviously
they're
we
keeping
know.
it fun. Like,
Yeah, because obviously we know, like in past years, the All-Star game has been like a joke for the first 3 quarters, and then at the fourth they'll kind of like turn.
But
it
nobody
up.
plays defense, so the score is like 170 to 162, and you're like, you're just gonna see.
Yeah.
Yes, you do kind of want to see them all ball out, but like nobody plays defense. Nobody does. So what they're going to do, right? Each quarter
will be played for a charity.
Yes. So of who's ever a charity in Chicago of whoever the captain chooses. My understanding is that the score will reset after each quarter with the first 3 quarters.
Yep.
So say Team Giannis wins the first quarter 25-20, then Team Giannis's charity will get that. I think it's 100,000 and it's up to 300,000 if I'm not mistaken. So whatever. Excuse me. So second quarter, the game score will reset. They'll play for another charity and again in the third quarter. So then come the fourth quarter, though, they're going to add up the scores from each of those 3 first quarters.
Yeah.
And then, for example, say the number at the end of the 3 quarters that for Team Giannis is 74. They've scored 74 points. Or I'm sorry, let's do 76. That's what I'm trying to make a point. So then they're in the fourth quarter, they're going to add 24 in honor of Kobe.
Yep.
So say you're at 76 and you're leading 76-70, hypothetical.
Yep.
They're going to add 24
and that's the target score.
And that's the target score. So whichever team, so the
target. No, they're going to add the 24 to the winning team.
I'm sorry.
And that's the target score.
So it would be like 100. Say you had 24 to 76 for Team Giannis. So it's 100. And it's whichever team gets to 100
and it's
first.
Untimed.
And it's untimed. Correct.
So it should be, that's going to be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I think it will be pretty cool. And I love, and you made this point first, or like suggestion, or not a suggestion. You said you kind of hoped for that maybe the NBA would have one team. Well, you had said one team wear 24, another team wear 8. Mm-hmm. However, they're doing, so thank God, it's Team Giannis wearing number 24. Mm-hmm. And then it's Team LeBron wearing number 2 in honor of Gigi.
Yep.
So I love that they're doing both of them.
Yep.
Yeah, like such great changes, and that's why I was a little upset I wasn't going to watch, but I'll be watching from the motherland.
I'll be watching at home by myself.
It won't be the same. It'll be in Espanol.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna
Spanish. NBA.
Is the All-Star game on TNT? It's TNT, right?
Yes.
I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Cause
why do I feel like I don't know right now? Yeah, I believe so.
I think it's TNT. I don't think it'd be I don't know. So to kind of just wrap up on like the Celtics and whatnot, I watched this TED Talk with my boy Jalen in it. Mm-hmm. And in it he talks about his process to choose Cal, because obviously Cal isn't like the biggest basketball school, and he said how he visited Kentucky and all these other like big name schools, and how Cal wasn't originally on his list until he spoke to this girl in his class as well who had Cal on her list, and she explained why, and just how they're like big on like social justice and all this, and obviously he's doing a lot with that now. And you'll have to excuse me for being out of breath just because I'm sick, so I'm like struggling over here. And I recorded 2 podcasts yesterday, so I've been doing a lot of talking. But so he talks about that whole process, and then he talks about how in like he would take honors classes and regular classes, and obviously the honors classes were like big into like actually learning. But I guess because he's from Marietta, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. And he said how in the regular classes, the teacher would always say, like, if you didn't want to learn, just to, like, she'll write you a pass and get out. Not because she didn't want to deal with it, but because trying to teach and control 30 kids
Right.
at the same time was difficult.
That's a lot.
She said you can either leave or just put your head down or something, right? Just like don't disturb the class. So, and he also goes on to talk about how his mom, like, he'd want to like play video games during the summer and whatnot, and his mom would be like, "Nah, you got to read and play basketball." Like that was it. And he goes, so he was like, "Thanks, Mom." Which obviously, I mean, it worked out.
I know now. I'm sure he can say thanks. Right?
Yeah, obviously it
Back
worked
then,
out.
I'm sure
Him
he
and
was
his
like, really?
grandma, his mom and his grandma, I
Nice.
guess, were like
and he
doing
looks
that.
just like his mother.
Yeah. I've actually had the chance to meet his mother when I worked at the TD Garden.
Yeah, you apparently also had a chance to meet Tatum's dad.
Yeah, I've had a few conversations with Jason Tatum's dad. I was like, because sometimes I'd be on register, sometimes I'd be just like, greeting people as they walk in, and he'd buy his Tatum stuff. Then he would
You
just
should
come
tell
out.
him I see where your son got his good looks
And
from.
I literally, I can't make this up. I was literally just like talking to him for maybe a solid 5 minutes. Like every now and then we just have a good conversation. Not even about Tatum or anything, right?
Right,
just
right.
like life.
Nice.
Like, ask him how he's doing, this
No,
and
that's
that.
cool.
I also got to talk to Jason's mom. She came in with Jalen's mom.
Oh, okay.
That one time.
Oh, yeah, you told me that. Yeah, you
and I
told
was
me that.
ringing them both out at the same time, so it was like a whole thing. And I only figured it out because Jason Tatum looks just like his mom,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
But we were like really busy, and they have like a family discount card.
Mm-hmm.
So like they handed it to me, and obviously I have to look at the name, and it said like Brown at the end and like whatever. And I was like, and they said family card. I was like, they both handed it to me, and I was like, wait a minute. And that's when I put two
You're
and two
like,
together. I
wait,
was like,
what?
whoa. I mean, Tatum's dad, obviously, you knew it was Tatum's dad. But just that was just like a little side note. That was pretty cool to have that chance to talk to them. I never got to meet Deuce, though. I would see his dad walking around with Deuce, but I never got to talk to Deuce.
And he's always at the games, too.
Oh, yeah. But, so, I think it was a pretty good TED Talk to watch.
Nice.
I think that
they're pretty good. Maybe I'll look it up.
he gets into what he's trying to do with, like, MIT and that whole, like, lab that he's trying to do with, like, getting kids ready for real life. And I know he said he's going to take, like, kids from Dorchester to give them MIT resources.
Nice.
And show the effect that has on, underprivileged kids getting
Nice.
the resources that they need to, like, succeed.
Good for you, Jalen.
Yeah, so obviously Jalen doing it both on and off the court, which is just another reason that I really love how he plays. And I will always bring up the fact that when the Nike jerseys first came out, that was the first one I bought. It was Jalen Brown. At the TD Garden, I bought it too. And then I took the tags off, put it on right away.
Still waiting for Jalen to give the nod to come be on the
I know.
on the pod. I think Randy will
Listen,
be
man.
like. I think I'll be running the interview, and Randy will be like.
No, I'm gonna tell Fab that we need to use her microphone, and she just needs to hit start and stop on the camera. No, I'm kidding. But
Be
no,
like,
I mean,
get out of my house.
Listen,
Get out.
Fab knows that I'm probably one of the biggest Jalen Brown fans
He is.
you'll see around. So, maybe one day we'll get
I'm more
Jalen
of a
on here. We'll see what
Tatum
happens. We'll reach out to him at some point. But anything else?
No, I think we need to give your voice a rest.
Yeah. I'm struggling.
But yeah, and it'll give you some time to finish the documentary.
Yep.
So we could discuss that. And football's over. So
Yeah, football's over, so we're gonna find some new stuff. Probably just like some topics and whatnot to cover, as opposed to like scores from week to week. Not that we do like scores week to week, but
I did get access to ESPN Plus through one of my friends, whom I love so much, and you know who you are, my dear. She gave me access. I was like, oh, you got, it's just a funny story that she was telling me that she got, what's the triple thing?
Hulu, Disney, and ESPN.
Plus. Yep, and So I was like, oh man, like, can I, like, I was just asking, like, can I use your password, but like, just to see if I could log on and watch this, whatever. And she goes, she was like, oh yeah, like everybody's using Disney Plus. I was like, Disney Plus? Like, I don't fucking care about Disney Plus.
Like,
I want
ESPN.
ESPN Plus. And she goes, oh, nobody's using ESPN Plus in my
go.
family. It was like music to my ears.
Yeah, I bet.
So as soon as I log on, it's like this whole like ESPN 30 for 30
like
kinds of documentaries and articles, and I was like, oh, like this is gold.
Yeah, I bet.
So there's so many on there too that so good. So good. And I'll have a list. Like, I'll try to write some down because I've already watched a couple, but I don't want to really start getting into that right now. So that could be something for next week too. But sure. ESPN, it is gold if you're a fan of ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
It's gold if you are a sports fan, a documentary fan like me. It's, yeah. There's so many things that I'm like promoting that I get nothing for promoting them. I'm just like, yeah, go check this out. But yeah, I think that's all we got this week. We'll be back next week.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. Hopefully my voice is like...
We'll be back next week, and I'm still here before I go on vacation. Then Randy will do one episode by himself. Yeah, I'll have one by myself.
That one's going to be in a different setting. That's going to be in my other podcast room, my other creation. I haven't decided if I'll do it in front of a green screen to have some fun or just like at my regular desk setting. I'll figure that out. If George can come help me out with it, then I'll probably do it in front of the green screen. But if not, then I'll just do it at the desk. But yeah, no. We're going to get out of here so that I can go get some soup and take a nap because I'm not feeling too hot. And I've been blowing my nose this whole time, like, all over the place. All right, well, that was what, 13?
13, episode
all right.
13.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
We should be adopting doing the mic drop. Mamba out.
Oh, yeah.
In honor, this right? This whole month.
Slam it.
But yeah, thank you, everyone. That is a wrap for episode 13.
See you next week.